Some people find it hard to believe when I tell them that I am just awful at small talk and I'm an introvert. And they say, well, Taylor, you work in radio. Aren't you good at talking to people? I say, no, I'm not good at talking to people. I'm good at talking to a microphone. And that's true. And so that's why I was really excited when I found this article called How to Make it. I don't even have the title in front of me, but it's basically how to make small talk when you're an introvert who is incredibly awkward in front of people. And it has a few tips. And so maybe you're like me, maybe small talk is just weird to you and you don't, because here's my problem with small talk is there's not really a goal.
There's not. It's just to avoid an awkward silent situation.
Yeah, and I'm totally fine with awkward silence. I'll take the awkward silence any day. And so that's why this is helpful to me, because even though we're not accomplishing a goal, there are at least checklists that I can work through in the conversation. And so number one, it says ask questions. Introverts tend to feel uncomfortable in the spotlight. They're often reluctant to disclose too much about themselves, especially to new people. By allowing the other person to take center stage initially, you can build your comfort level, test the waters before sharing your own thoughts. If you feel uncomfortable or fatigued mid-conversation, ask more questions and subtly turn the attention away from yourself. So, you and I could be talking about our lives and stuff, and I start feeling a little weird, and then I can just be like, do you think the robot apocalypse will happen in a climactic war, or will be a slow but sure takeover? And then the spotlight is now on you.
Because I have to sit there and try to figure out what kind of curveball you just threw me.
And I can bide my time and kind of rebuild my introvert confidence. Or I could just be, why did you do your hair like that?
Excuse me.
Exactly.
And then you have to come back with I'm just curious. It's a very interesting style. Where did you come up with that?
Now we're both feeling awkward.
Thanks a lot.
Number two, it says be purposeful. Thoughts tend to be self-fulfilling. If you approach small talk with the belief that it will be dull and pointless, it probably will. So instead of dwelling on negative thoughts, I'm awful at this, I hate small talk, when can I go home, why did Kendall do her hair like that? Remind yourself that small talk is not superficial. Small talk serves an important purpose, which I disagree with. It still says it helps build the foundation for authentic conversation, blah, blah, blah. Think of small talk as the light appetizer before the main course and approach it with renewed purpose. So apparently we are eating conversation at this point.
We're eating it.
Is that...
Gotcha, I guess.
See, you're an extrovert. You're good at this stuff. You're supposed to understand these food metaphors for talking.
I can do small talk really well, but I think a lot of times that's because I see so many different kinds of people that small talk is kind of a way to kind of feel out where people's interests are before you dive into a deep, a more in-depth conversation. Because I can start talking more in depth about something that I'm interested in, but if I haven't small talked to somebody, I have no idea if that's something they're completely uninterested in.
See, I just launch in anyway.
Yeah,
I'm just
going
to go ahead and talk to you about robots. And if you don't care, then I'm sorry, we're not going to be friends. And I will drive them away that way. The last one, it says reduce anxiety. Introverts may approach small talk with anxiety, ranging from slight apprehension to debilitating dread. So basically, stop being stressed out. And we all know the best way to reduce anxiety is just to say, stop it. And then...
Stop it!
Yeah, and then you will not be stressed anymore. So to curb anxiety, stay rational and positive. You can tell yourself any of the following. The anxiety is coming from me and my beliefs, not the situation. I can do this. Labels don't define me. I'm an interesting, worthy person with a lot to contribute. Or my personal favorite, I will reward myself with a quiet evening on the couch watching my favorite movie. So if I'm ever sitting here talking to you and I say, after this, I'm just going to reward myself watching a movie, it's not purposefully out loud, but I'm just making myself comfortable as we are having uncomfortable small talk.
Small talk's never uncomfortable with me, Taylor, unless I take it to a purposefully awkward place, which I sometimes do, and I apologize for that in advance.
I do really appreciate having you in here because you are good at small talk, and when I'm with someone who's good at small talk, at least I can kind of ride their coattails to an entertaining conversation. So there you go. Those are your rules for helpful small talk. Maybe you are as enlightened as I am. Maybe you are just as uncomfortable as ever.